Today we have our Oz and Ums returning champion for a speech titled Selling the Stage, curtain number 2. And although he's a champion, he will do his level best to keep those Oz and Ums to a minimum. So let's turn our attention to Jack and hear what he has to say. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. You know, I can see in the back of your mind, you are telling yourself, here we go again with Jack and he's setting up the stage. What is this business of setting up the stage? And you're rolling your eyes. You're not doing it, but I can see in the back of your mind, you're doing it. So that was the humor part of the speech. With that said, we continue with the more serious stuff. The reason that I want to set up the stage for my future speeches is I consider this group my accountability group. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that I hold myself accountable to this group for becoming a better speaker, more eloquent speaker, a resilient speaker, and get those O's and Ums to a minimum. Does that count, Mr. Grammarian? That doesn't count, thank God. So that's the reason I want to set up the stage so you understand in the future when I give the speeches, where are these things coming from? With that said, I'm going to discuss 3 final things in this speech today. And those 3 are fundamentals, humor time, and YouTube. Now, again, you're going to say, oh my God, what does these 3 have to do together with each other? Humor time, fundamentals, and YouTube in the single speech at the same time. Glad you asked that question because I'm here to answer it. Let me start with fundamentals. A lot of things or books or tapes or videos or seminars that were mostly for self-development, motivation, and whatnot that I've learned over the decades from other people that I'm trying to teach to others are based on fundamental truth. What I learned from them didn't come from them because it already existed. They just said it in a different way that I think clicked with me, for a lack of a better word. And I want to do the same, say it my way, based on my experiences, based on the things I did or I didn't do, decisions I made or didn't make, the things I listened to or didn't listen, and the result that it had in the long term. So those things I want to teach, and those fundamentals are old. They're nothing new, just like antiques. Antiques are old. You got to beware of the guy that says, you got to come visit our factory. We manufacture new antiques. No, you can't manufacture new antiques. Antiques are old. So are fundamentals. And that's what I'll be talking in future speeches based on those truths. And hopefully I'll be able to touch someone's life and turn on a light for them. Or like I said in previous speeches, give them that final number for that lock on the wall where they can turn it, hear that click, turn the handle, open, and out pours all good things for them to go and do better in their own lives. So that's fundamental. Now we get to the good part, and that is humor time. back in the day, and they might still be doing it somewhat, in TV shows where they had live audience. You know, right now things have changed with the streaming, Netflix, Prime, and whatnot. So it's not so much, but back in the day where they used to have, again, they might still have it, live audience to tape a TV series or a TV show, they would have these big signs, you know, flashing light and flashing sign, that if there was a joke or something funny happened on the set, it would go on and says, laugh, and everybody laughs at the same time, because they didn't want just half a dozen people laugh on, you know, on live show. So they would flash it and everybody laugh at the same time. Or they had another one where they wanted everybody clap at the same time. So they'll go ahead and flash it, say clap, and everybody claps at the same time. So going back to humor time, because we need to use humor during our speeches and to take the edge off, which is good, and I'm trying to learn that. A lot of the times when I'm speaking and I'm talking about something that I really want to get the point across, I forget to be funny. Although outside of giving speeches, I'm just a clown. I always have a dozen jokes up my sleeve. But when it comes to talking, sometimes I forget to be funny when I'm talking, and it's good to be funny sometimes. So for that, in order to make up for that, what I want to do in the future in my speeches is the humor time. And what does that mean? Since I don't have flashing light here, I say humor time, and I want everybody to laugh. And once we laugh, I continue with my speech. Let's try that here. I'm going to count backwards and then say humor time, and everybody laughs. Ready? If you're ready, say I'm ready.
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 3, 2, 1. Humor time. That's great. I love this crowd. I'm going to take you as my traveling crowd, especially when I talk in front of 10,000. So now we are aware of humor time. I know a lot of people are missing today, so I'm going to repeat that at the beginning of each speech so they can get up to par. So we have covered humor time, and you're all aware, and we're going to do that to take the edge off, just in case I forget to be funny during my speech. Now it comes down to YouTube. Now, what does YouTube have to do with all this? You know, fundamentals, humor time. Well, when we, thank you. Yeah, he's following. When we give a speech, any of us, it is recorded. I believe by Rick, is it? Rick records them. Or Mitch, I'm sorry. I thought Rick was doing it. And they put it, or he puts it on YouTube, but it's private. It's not public, and I understand that. And I don't know the policy of Toastmasters, whether those YouTube recordings could be public or they must stay private. And that you can let me know later. I believe you could have them public. And what is the reason I want it to be public? Is because I want, if there is somebody out there that is looking for an answer, that is looking for someone to say something that would help them take a step from the darkness into light. So they are in this darkness and they're in the dark, and then I say it at the right time, right place, right frequency, just like a radio, where they get it just like I got it. You know, I might have heard those lessons from other people, but somebody said it at the right time, at the right moment, in the right way, in the right frequency, and I picked it up. So I want to do the same. Before they hear it from me, they're in the dark. After they hear it, they're in the light. That's my goal. And that's why I want to have it public. However, I wanted to get everybody's permission, if everybody's okay, because your faces will be on there.
Yeah.
If you agree, we put it up. If you don't agree, we cover your face. But those I need to find out later on. I know Rick is shaking his head, but we'll find out. So that's the goal of my entire postmaster progress, is that to be able to become good, better, resilient, eloquent, and to be able to go out there and teach what I've learned. Because I have paid the ultimate prices in the past few decades for making a lot of mistakes. And frankly, I don't see why anybody has to pay the same prices if somebody comes along and offer them a shortcut, turn on the light, give them that final number, so they can go and change their life, become a better person, become a better father, mother, husband, wife, and then maybe teach to somebody else where they need it. So that's the plan. Unfortunately, not everybody's here for the speech, but hopefully I bring them up to par on the future speeches. Again, I feel that you are my accountability group to hold my feet to the fire, to make sure I become better and better, because my ultimate goal is to stand in front of 10,000 and be able to touch some of their lives in one way or another. And hopefully, you know, I've done the test. What I want in return is the testimonials, because without the test, you won't have testimonials. And that's what I want. I want somebody sometimes say, hey, you know what? I was listening to this guy on YouTube. He said something that just made sense and turned on a light for me. And I went, and things haven't been the same since. That's the ultimate goal. In conclusion, we have covered the fundamentals. You know where that's coming from. Humor time. You know what we're going to do, and we're going to see who is paying attention or not. And YouTube, what that leaves is to wait for the next speech. And until then, stay tuned. And March 4th, back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Jack. Let's have 1 minute on the clock.